Raider Nation, what's going on? This is the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Let's get into that Raiders news. The Oakland Raiders schedule was released on Thursday, and I just want to highlight for you guys some of the important days, maybe some of the important games that you should keep track of, because this is going to be a great Raiders season. First, the Raiders will kick off the season on Monday Night Football for the first time since 2012. The Raiders will play twice on Monday night, September 10th against the Rams and December 24th against the Broncos. The Raiders have two more primetime games in 2018, against the 49ers in Week 9 on Thursday Night Football and home against the Steelers in Week 14 on Sunday Night Football. In Week 6, the Raiders will travel to London to battle the Seahawks. Speaking of travel, the Raiders will travel the most miles in the NFL this season with 31,716. Last thing to highlight, the Raiders have the third easiest schedule entering 2018, facing opponents with a combined record of 121 and 135 from last season. But I want to know what you guys think. I got a reaction poll for you. Do you think the Raiders are going to have a pretty good season or not? And I want to know if you think that they're going to end up making the playoffs. If you think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs, give me a heart for yes. If you think the Raiders are going to miss the playoffs, give me a like for no. I'm hoping to see a lot of hearts down there. Next bit of Raiders news I got for you. Raiders signed cornerback Daryl Worley. This one's pretty interesting, and we've been hearing a lot of rumors about the Raiders getting some new cornerbacks, but the free agent cornerback has found a new home. Worley was traded to the Eagles this offseason in exchange for wide receiver Torrey Smith, but he wouldn't be an Eagle for too long. The Eagles released Worley on April 15th following his arrest near the team facility when he was allegedly found passed out inside a vehicle blocking a highway. Yesterday, Worley joined the Raiders, entering his third year in the NFL after spending the last two seasons with the Carolina Panthers. Worley was a third-round selection in the 2016 NFL Draft. He's appeared in 31 games and made 25 starts, recording 150 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 19 passes defensed. Last season, Worley made a career-high 14 starts for the Panthers and set career highs in interceptions and passes defense while also adding 63 tackles. Next bit of news I got for you guys. Oakland Raiders pick up Amari Cooper's 5th-year option. Really happy for this one. This is a guy who struggled a little bit last year, but I'm glad that Oakland is showing him their confidence. The 5th-year option is set to be worth roughly $13.9 million. The Raiders originally drafted Cooper in the first round, 4th overall of the 2015 NFL Draft. Over his first 3 years, he totaled 203 receptions for 2,903 yards and 18 touchdowns in 46 games. He was named to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 seasons and is just of 3 players in the NFL history with 1,000 receiving yards and 70 catches in each of their first 2 years. Despite the down year in 2017, the Raiders are confident in Amari, and so am I. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in to the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365, and please give Oakland Raiders by Chat Sports a like on Facebook so you know exactly when I go live. We talk a lot of news and rumors on this show, so you need to understand my Raiders rumor scale. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. This one's not going to happen. 1 Chucky head, small shred of truth. I like to think 25% chance of happening. 2 Chucky heads, people are talking. 50-50 coin flip. 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely 75% chance. 4 Chucky heads, believe it baby, 100% chance this rumor's going to happen. So now let's get into those Raiders rumors. First one, update on NaVorro Bowman's contract. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. Unfortunately, guys, I wish I could give you an update on it, but there just isn't one. The momentum for any new contract coming into the fruition between the Raiders and Bowman appears to have stalled entirely heading into the final week of April. Raiders GM Reggie McGlinchey had this to say about Bowman's contract situation. There's no change there. Bowman's still a free agent. To my loyal Facebook and YouTube followers, comment whether or not you want Bowman to return in Oakland in 2018. I know I certainly do. Next rumor I got coming for you up on the board. Are the Oakland Raiders the favorites to draft Georgia linebacker Roquan Smith? I'm giving this one 4 Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. According to Sportsline, the Raiders have 2-to-1 odds in drafting Georgia linebacker Roquan Smith with the 10th overall pick. That's the best odds in the NFL. With question marks surrounding Bowman, it shouldn't surprise anyone to see Smith atop of the Raiders draft board. Last season, Smith was nominated for several national defensive awards and won the Buckus Award as the nation's top linebacker, as well as being named the team's defensive MVP. The team captain started all 15 games as a junior and led the team in tackles for a loss, sacks, and QB pressures. Also named 2017 First Team All-America, First Team All-SEC, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and 2018 Rose Bowl Defensive MVP. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board, Raiders favorites to draft Tremaine Edmunds. Find out after a word from our sponsor, Mizzen & Main. For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. This is so awesome because the Raiders are favored to draft Edmunds and Roquan Smith, which is great news for the Raiders because, well, they got a situation going on right now with a guy named NaVorro Bowman. But according to Sportsline, the Raiders have 2-to-1 odds in drafting Virginia Tech linebacker Tremaine Edmunds. In 2016, Edmunds started all 14 games and was named second team All-ACC after recording 106 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 pick. As a true junior in 2017, Edmunds was a Buckus Award finalist and was named third-team All-America and first-team All-ACC. He totaled 109 tackles, 14 for loss, 5.5 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles in 13 starts. Oh yeah, and this dude isn't even 20 years old yet. Next rumor I got for you guys coming up on the board, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Is he going to be an Oakland Raider? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky Heads. People are talking. A name that hasn't been discussed very much on the Raiders report. The people over at Sportsline are talking, putting 4-to-1 odds for the Raiders drafting Alabama defensive back Minkah Fitzpatrick. The versatile DB can play all over the field, which has caused him to land in the top 5 on some draft boards. He can cover receivers on the edge, he can cover tight ends over the middle, he can blitz, stop the run, and he's just an ace special teams guy all around. The only real question for Minkah isn't if he'll be good, it's just a matter of what position he's going to be good at. Next rumor I got coming up for you guys up on the board, Kolton Miller. Is he going to be an Oakland Raider? I'm going to give this one 1 Chucky Head, small shred of truth. In order for this to happen, a few things need to kind of go in order. CBS Sports insider Jason La Canfora dropped a nugget about the Oakland Raiders in a recent report. If the Raiders do in fact trade down from the 10th overall pick with someone like the Patriots or perhaps the Cardinals or whoever coming up for a quarterback, look out for UCLA tackle Kolton Miller to be a top target for them. At 6'9", 310 pounds, Miller possesses the athleticism and size to attract teams late in the first round or early day 2. He finished top 3 in the 40-yard dash, 3-cone drill, and 20-yard shuttle at the NFL Scouting Combine. Miller could be the man to step in for when Donald Penn retires. The next rumor I got coming up for you guys on the board, number 6, it's Mike McGlinchey, and whether or not he's going to be an Oakland Raider. I'm giving this one 2 Chucky Heads. People are talking. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's 50-50 because this one's pretty interesting. So, first, let's go glass half full. He is the 14th ranked player on Pro Football Focus Big Board. Left tackle Donald Penn is 35 and near the end of his contract. Plus, the Raiders don't have much at right tackle position. So, McGlinchey, who has an extensive experience on both sides, can start out of the right side and then take over the left side if Penn gets hurt or when he eventually retires. Now, let's get into glass half empty. I'm a company guy, and our NFL draft expert Tom Downey has McGlinchey ranked 28th on his big board. The Raiders might think he's higher than that, and they could take him, but I think that they should go with maybe somebody else because I think he's only 28th as well, and that's why Tom Downey is as good as he is. But maybe they trade back and pick him anyway. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in to the Raiders Report. Again, my name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365.